In previous lesson, we learned about diffraction of light. That is, when light is considered, by considering light as a wave, when it passes through a slit, it bends around the corners. So the wavefront becomes like this, called the diffracted waves. Or if it is as it is passing, as the wavefront is advancing, if it comes across an obstacle, then it bends around the corner here and here. It bends around the corner. That is what we did in the last lesson. And what was the condition for bending? This opening should be of the order of the wavelength of light or less than the wavelength of light. Now we are moving on to wave optics 11, that is diffraction at a single slit, right? Diffraction of light at a single slit. Now look at the diagram. This S is a source of light, monochromatic light, placed at the focus of this lens. This point is the focus of this lens. Let S is a source of monochromatic, means single wavelength of light at focus of lens L1. This lens is L1. So since it is kept at the focus, the rays after passing through the lens will become parallel, like this. So the wavefront, so this is one wavefront, this is advancing, it is the second position, this is again advancing, this is again advancing. So WW dash is a plane wavefront. So WW dash is a plane wavefront that is moving towards this slit AB. Look at this AB. Is a narrow opening. It's not this much actually. It's very small. Let the distance from A to B is D, the width of the slit AB. Now here is another lens L2. Since this wavefront is parallel, so they will be focused. So they will be focused. And now here is a screen at the point O. It is focused. Right? So let L2, another convex lens, to focus the diffraction pattern on the screen. This wavefront, due to the slit AB, will be diffracted, means it will bend and will be focused on the screen here. This is the screen. Now look at. Now let AB is equal to small d, suppose. Now this wave, this wavefront arriving here and this wavefront arriving here, they travel the same path. This distance from A to O along this path is same thing as the distance from B to O along this path. So the distance is same, means the path difference is 0. Now after getting diffracted from the slit AB, it is in fact in traveling in all directions. It is going to this side, this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. I have taken one point P. Look, the disturbance from here arriving at P travels this dotted line, and the disturbance from here traveling along this dotted line and is arriving at P. So this distance is more than this distance. So I have drawn a perpendicular, AN is a perpendicular drawn. Therefore, in this triangle ANB, if this angle is theta, then by taking sine of this angle and cross multiplying, you get BN is equal to D sine theta. So capital D is the distance between the slits, the slit AB and the screen. I have shown here. Each point of AB, each point, this wavefront, when it arrives at here, each point of this wavefront AB, shown dotted, sends out secondary wavelets in all directions. That was the Huygens principle. Each point of the wavefront acts as a new source of disturbance and sends out disturbance in all directions. That is the Huygens principle. Each secondary wavelets from AC, each secondary disturbance, which are called wavelets from AC, and its corresponding wavelet from BC reach O, travel the same distance. Look, any wavelet from AC while arriving O, and any wavelet and its corresponding wavelet in BC while arriving O, they travel the same distance. When I say corresponding, what do you mean by this? This point in AC, this point in AC has a corresponding point in BC as this. Means this distance is same thing, this distance. The disturbance from here when it arrives at O and its corresponding place that is in BC is this point, and the disturbance from here arrives O. The disturbance from here arriving at O and the disturbance from here arriving at O travel the same distance. If you take another one, let's say this one, its corresponding, this one is in the part BC, its corresponding point in AC will be this one. So the disturbance from here while arriving at O and the disturbance from here while arriving at O will travel the same distance. That is what I have explained here. Now, so since they are traveling the same distance, the path difference is 0. So the path difference between these wavelets is 0. A path difference of 0 is equivalent to a phase difference of 0. Look at this diagram. The distance from here to here is lambda and the angle is 2 pi. So lambda is equivalent to 2 pi. So here lambda is 0 and here 2 pi is also 0. So a 0 path difference corresponds to a 0 phase difference. And we know from interference chapter, interference I was equal to I1 plus I2 to I1 I2 square root of that cos pi. Now since the wavelets from AC and the wavelets from BC when arrive at O, they have no path difference, that is the path difference 0, therefore the phase difference between them is 0. So cos phi is equal to 0. So phi is equal to 0. So cos 0 is equal to 1. So if this part becomes 1, your I is equal to maximum. So I is equal to maximum at O. Means at the point O on the screen, we will have a maximum intensity due to interference of waves coming from the part AC and coming from the part BC. At point O, we will have a maximum intensity, right? Now, maximum intensity at O. Now, position of secondary minima. I will consider maxima later on. First, I am considering minima. Now look at the diagram. Let OP is equal to Y. Let from O to P is equal to the distance Y along Y axis. Is the distance of a point P on the screen. P is a point on the screen at a distance Y from O. Now look at the wave. It's traveling at here, the dot shown dotted. Now, when secondary waves meet at an angle theta with CO due to diffraction, Bn, the path difference, is equal to d sine theta. D sine theta that I just explained. The disturbance traveling from here along this dotted line reaching at P, and the disturbance traveling from here traveling along this dotted line and reaching P when I drop a perpendicular from A to B is small d. So in this triangle A and B taking sine theta, Bn comes out to be d sine theta. That is the path difference. That is the path difference. Suppose this path difference d sine theta is lambda. Suppose if lambda, then let us see what will happen. Then I claim then at point P minimum intensity, because if the path difference between secondary waves from A and B is lambda, which I have taken it, I have assumed it as lambda, then we can interpret like this. Then you can imagine this whole distance from A to B is divided into two equal parts, that is AC and BC. From here to here and here to here, the path difference is this. If this is lambda, so the contribution of AC is lambda by 2, and the contribution for disturbances from BC is also lambda by 2. So the path difference between secondary waves from A and C reaching point P is lambda by 2, and the path difference between secondary waves from B and C reaching P is lambda by 2. And what is lambda by 2 in terms of phase? That is, each point in AC, there is a corresponding point in BC for which the path difference between the secondary waves reaching point P is lambda by 2. Means for each point in AC, say this point, and its corresponding point, this point in BC, while reaching P, they have a path difference of lambda by 2. They have a path difference of lambda by 2. And lambda by 2 from the diagram, from here to here is lambda, from here to here is lambda by 2, and from here to here is 2 pi. So from here to here is pi. So lambda by 2 is equivalent to pi. So lambda by 2 is equivalent to pi. Therefore, cos phi is equal to cos pi, that is equal to minus 1. So when this value becomes minus 1, that minus will come here. So the intensity will be minimum. Because this is positive, this being minus, it is subtracted, so it becomes minimum. So the general condition for secondary minima is the path difference is d sine theta is n lambda. I explained with lambda, I put it n lambda, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. So the nth maxima, at what angle the nth minima is occurring, not maxima, nth minima is occurring. So from this d2 comes to this side, n lambda over d. Now position of secondary maxima. I explained you point O will be maximum. Then which other points on this side as well as on this side will be again maximum. And this point I found out to be minimum under this condition. Under this condition, that is d sine theta is equal to lambda. So the general is equal to this, means for n is equal to 1, if you put n1 here, lambda is known, d is known, then this will have a value. If you put n is equal to 2 here, then this will again have value, another value. If you put n is equal to 3 here, then this will again have another value, because lambda and small d are constant. So for different values of n, we will have different angles. So from here at different angles, this is theta, at different angles there will be different minimas, means minimum intensity. Now position of secondary maxima. So path difference I just calculated, that it was d sine theta, let it be 3 lambda by 2. So this can be split it as lambda by 2, lambda by 2, lambda by 2, this plus this is equal to 3 lambda by 2. Now then what you can imagine is this whole part from A to B is divided into 3 equal parts. A to B is divided into 3 equal parts, like this, like this. This is your A, this is your B. This is divided into 3 equal parts. One part, second part, third part. A part from here and its corresponding part here. When they arrive at the screen, they will cancel each other's effect due to minima. Now this part will be left, so there will be a maxima. So the condition for maxima is d sine theta is 3 lambda by 2. So in general, I can write d sine theta is 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. So put n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, means odd multiples of lambda by 2. Put n is equal to 1, this becomes 3 lambda by 2. Put n is equal to 2, this becomes 5 lambda by 2. Put n is equal to 3, this becomes 7 lambda by 2. So for odd multiples of lambda by 2, if the path difference is odd number multiple of lambda by 2, then on the screen we will have maxima. Now, so from here, for nth maxima, so your d comes to this side, 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d. So for different values of n, this theta n will be different. So at different angles we will have maxima. At different angles we will have maxima. Then coming back to what is the width of central maxima. width of central maxima. Along with this, let me show you this figure. Now look, this was the same point O as it was shown in the first phase. As it was shown in the first phase, there is a maxima which I explained, because this path reference, this and this, they don't have any path reference, that is path reference 0. 0 corresponds to a phase difference 0. Therefore, your cos phi was maximum, so this was maximum. Then at which other points it was maximum was given by the general formula, sin theta n is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d, right? Now, I just explained that the central point is maximum. This point is maximum. The intensity is maximum, called the central bright fringe, right? Fringe means pattern. Now, maximum, again at this point is a minimum, this point is a minimum, this point is a minimum. So the distance from here to here, is the width of this central bright fringe, central bright fringe. So it is the distance between the first secondary minima on either side of a point O. This is maximum intensity. Then going from this to a distance equal to lambda capital D by D, the intensity gradually decreases. From here to this side, on the lower side of the screen, again the intensity decreases, it is again become minimum. So between these 2 points, the maximum intensity is there. So from here to here is the width of this central maxima. So between this point and this point. So the point O is the central maxima. It has a width. For first secondary minima, n is equal to 1. For n is equal to 1. For first secondary minima, I explained you condition for minima. Condition for minima was equal to your d sin theta was d sin theta is equal to n lambda. So first minima is at n is equal to 1. N is equal to 1. So d sin theta is equal to n is equal to 1. So therefore lambda. So sin theta is equal to lambda by d.